Leo Tolstoy was born at Yasnaya Polyneia, his family's estate, on August 28, 1821. This estate was found in Russia, and he was the youngest of 4 sons. His mother died when he was 2 years old, where his father's distant cousin, Tatiana Erglosky, took charge of him and his siblings. In 1837, Tolstoy's father died, and his aunt Alexandra Osten-Sakin became the legal guardian of the children and Tolstoy. Her religious dictation was an important influence early on Tolstoy. When she died in 1840, the children were sent to Russia to another sister of their father. Tolstoy was educated at home by German and French tutors. He was not particularly exceptional in school, but he was great at games. In 1843, he entered Kazan University. Planning on a diplomatic career, he entered the Faculty of Oriental Languages. Finding these studies too demanding, he switched 2 years later to studying law. Tolstoy left the university in 1847 without taking his degree. When Tolstoy later returned to Yasnaya Polyneia, his brother Nikolai, the oldest brother of the family, visited him in 1848, while on leave from military service in the Caucasus. His loving older brother, Nikolai, asked Tolstoy to join him in the army, and Tolstoy agreed. Many years later, after a long journey, he reached the mountains of Caucasus, where he sought to join the army as a junker or gentleman volunteer. Tolstoy's habits included hunting, drinking, sleeping, chasing women, and occasionally fighting. During the long lulls, he first began to write. In 1852, he sent his autobiographical sketch, Childhood, to the leading journal of the day, The Contemporary. Tolstoy later wrote The Cossacks and finished it in 1862. This was an account of his life in the outpost. From November 1857 to August 1855, Tolstoy served in the battered fortress of Sevastopol in southern Ukraine. He also later battled in one of the bloodiest battles of the Crimean War from 1853 to 1956, during which Russia battled England and France over land. During this time, he managed to complete Sevastopol Tales revealing this distinctive Tolstoyan vision of war as a place of unparalleled confusion and heroism, a special space where men, viewed from the author's neutral, godlike point of view, were at their best and worst. At the height of his life, in September 1862, Tolstoy married Sophia Andreevna Beers, a woman 16 years younger than he was. She was the daughter of a prominent Moscow doctor. Finally, in June of 1863, his wife had the first of their 13 children. The first portion of War and Peace was published in 1865, and in 1868, 3 more chapters appeared. Finally, in 1869, he completed the novel. His new novel created a fantastic outpouring of popular and critical reaction. Tolstoy's War and Peace represents a high point in the history of world literature, but it was also the peak of Tolstoy's personal life. His characters represent almost everyone he had ever met, including all of his relations on both sides of his family. In 1877, Tolstoy finished the second of his masterpieces, Anna Karenina, which also created a sensation upon its publication. The concluding section of the novel was written during another of Russia's seemingly endless wars with Turkey. The novel was based partly on events that had occurred on a neighboring estate, where a nobleman's rejected mistress had thrown herself under a train. It again contained great chunks of disguised biography, especially in the scenes describing the courtship and marriage of Kitty and Levin. Tolstoy's family continued to grow, and his royalties, money earned from sales, were making him an extremely rich man. Ultimately, Tolstoy's relations with his family became increasingly strained. The more of a saint he became in the eyes of the world, the more of a devil he seemed to his wife. He wanted to give his wealth away, but she would not hear of it. An unhappy compromise was reached in 1884 when Tolstoy assigned to his wife the copyright to all of his works before 1881. Tolstoy's final years were filled with worldwide acclaim and great unhappiness, as he was caught in the strife between his beliefs, his followers, and his family. Finally, unable to endure the quarrels at home, he set out on his last pilgrimage, a religious journey, in October of 1910, accompanied by his youngest daughter, Alexandra, and his doctor. The trip proved too much, and he died in the home of the station master of the small depot at Ostempovo, Russia, on November 9, 1910. He was buried at Yasnaya Polyneia.